Well, hello, my friends. We've got company today, and I feel kind of bad that I've invaded their space, but looks like there's some Canadian geese back here, maybe having a little mating ritual. I see a third and a fourth one. They're kind of talking back and forth, so I'm not really sure what all that's about. But anyway, I come to you today with a knife review, a hike, maybe some fishing. As you can see behind me, this is a small pond in a semi-urban park near my hometown. There's some industry behind us, so we can certainly hear the hum of that. There's a highway in the distance always. But anyway, the video is about the Scandinavian folder. Scandinavian folder. So in the past year, my fascination with fixed blade camping knives and all that, I have sort of come to the conclusion that I prefer the Scandi grind. And between the Moras and the Hella and a few other knives that have a Scandinavian grind, it's become my favorite type of knife. But recently I've been running across folders with a Scandinavian grind. And so I thought, why not try one out? You know, obviously it's not going to be as durable and strong and robust. And there were actually quite a few more than I realized were out there. So I opted for the Cold Steel Finn Wolf. And the reason I did is because of the price. So I didn't think that a Scandinavian folder would really be something that I would use too often. And I wasn't about to pay. Tops has a few nice ones. Hella has a few nice ones. Enzo, I wasn't about to pay that much for an Enzo Scandinavian folder that I would use occasionally. So I went with the Cold Steel Finn Wolf. Now this knife at my local outdoor gear box store was $49.99. I think the knife retails between $60 and $70, but it's always cheaper than that. So they price matched a couple of online dealers, so I got it at $36. So for $36, what you get is Alsate steel, which, you know, it's a budget steel, but a relatively easy to sharpen steel. The knife came super sharp, and you see the Scandinavian grind there. So Alsate steel at 3.5 inches on the blade and 7.5 inches total. The handle material is called Gravex, which basically is a fancy word for molded plastic. It does have a nice little sandpaper type feel to it, so there is some grip. But the star of this knife is the lock. And I had heard good things about the Cold Steel Triad lock. And let me tell you, it is strong. So it's a lockback, but it's designed differently than most lockback knives. It's much stronger. So there's a couple things that I don't like about the knife for EDC, and it's not a knife that I bought to carry every day for work, but it doesn't have a deep pocket carry clip. And this little swell here protrudes out of your pants. So I'm not a big fan of that. And honestly, for EDC, I prefer a knife that I can operate with one hand. To open, you can use one hand. To close, you need two. Yeah, so that Triad lock takes two hands, and it actually takes a little bit of pressure on that thumb to get that thing closed up. Thumb studs on both sides. Now this knife is ambidextrous because you can flip the clip. There's the indentation for the left-handed folks out there. So I mean, overall for $36, I mean, it's a pretty good blade. Now let's see how it performs. Out here today, we're going to do some wood crafting, build a small fire, make a cup of coffee, cut a little bit of food. So we're going to put it through its paces. So stay tuned. First things first, we got to make some coffee out here. I left the house today and the sun was shining brightly. I get on the trail and the clouds cover and it starts to sprinkle. So I guess first let's check the 90-degree spine on this. So just feeling it, I can tell it's not as sharp as you know, some of my other fixed blade knives. And I forgot to mention that this knife is actually in the style of the Puko, if you think about it. So that straight spine all the way to the tip and that nice little swoop in the belly. So yeah, let's see what it's got as far as 90-degree spine. There we go. We're rolling with some Arabica today. Mountain Blend.
Well, you know what you do when you forget your coffee cup, don't you? You drink it out of a pot. Oh, me.
I always forget something, right? Ooh, that is strong. But good. All right, let's get to testing on this knife. Now, normally I would not suggest batoning with a folder, but Cold Steel's claim to fame with this triad lock is how tough it is. So let's see what we got. I wouldn't dare beat down on this with you know, 3 inches of hardwood, but this little piece of pine right here, pretty good. We'll do one more and see if there's any play in the blade. Okay, no play in the blade, side to side, back to back. It looks like the edge rolled just a hair, but not too bad. I sort of like the grip. Even though I don't like this as an EDC knife because it's not a deep carry pocket clip and it has this little swoop right here towards the end, as far as the grip, it's a little blocky. There's not much swell, but as far as the ergos, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's so daggone sharp. That 0 degrees really wants to make it bite when making feathers. But grab that right angle, it's fine. This is a piece of hickory too, so it's not the softest thing to try and glide your knife through. But as you can see, does a fine job. All right, we've tested a little bit of woodcraft, feathers, and throwing sparks and stuff like that. Let's see how it fares doing with a little bit of food prep. Just got a little bit of sausage and cheese here today. And so we all know by now that Scandi grinds aren't the best for food prep because of the wedge, but as sharp as it is, I'd say it's gonna do pretty good. And we're getting pretty thin slices out of that. So I'd say it's pretty good. Let's taste a little bit of this summer sausage here. A little bit of hoop cheese. Yeah, I'd say it slices pretty good. 3 millimeter thick, so it's thin enough where you could you'd actually do pretty good with a little food prep. All right, guys, I've packed up my little day kit here and gonna head back to the car here shortly. It looks like it's gonna rain steady here in a little while. So anyway, final thoughts on the Cold Steel Finn Wolf folding Puko Scandi knife. I'm actually really impressed. They weren't lying when they said that triad lock was about the toughest in the business, and I agree. I've never had a liner lock quite that stiff. But anyway, yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it this afternoon, and I will probably start using this knife as my secondary camp knife because it can perform some wood tasks and stuff like that if one of my fixed blade knives broke out on a trip or something like that. But and it packs down so small. That's what's so great about it. Now I will say that some heavier duty tasks, chopping and batoning, I won't take a chance on damaging the knife. But overall, I'm really impressed. So another good review out here enjoying nature. I've let my fire burn out over here, and I'm gonna call it a day. So I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Peace.